Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Hetu pacayoti hetu sambeudgana dhammana tan Paṭṭhāna nanca rupana hetu pacayena pacayo. Hetu, these are causes. Translations are roots. Hetu sambeudgana dhammana tan Paṭṭhāna nanca rupana. These are effects. Effects. We call it in Bali Paccayopana. Paccayopana. Hetu pacayena pacayo is condition or supports as root condition. So here causes is hetu, roots. What are they? Lobha, greed. Dosa, hatred, anger. Moha, delusion. Alobha, no greed. Adosa, no hatred. Amoha, no delusion or wisdom. These are causes. What is the effects? Sahetuka Chaita 71. Chaita is 89 minus 18 ahetuka chaita. So only 71. Cetasika 52. Excluding moha, cetasika and moha mula chaita. Why? Why excluding moha? So moha cetasika associated with the lobha, also associated with the dosa mula chaita, also associated with the moha mula chaita. But moha cetasika and lobha mula chaita, there are two roots in that chaita. One is lobha, one is moha. If so, they can support each other. They can be cause, they can be effect. So, in the same way, moha cetasika and dosa mula chaita, there is two causes. One is a dosa, one is a moha. They can support each other. Can be cause, can be effect. But moha cetasika and moha mula chaita, only one root. Only it can be cause, cannot be effect. Because of this, here there must be result, effect. Because of this, that moha cannot be effect, only can be cause. Because of this, I have to say excluding moha cetasika and moha mula chaita. So next one is sahetuka chaitija rupa. Chaitija rupa. Sahetuka is together with root. Chaitija rupa, mind born, consciousness born materiality. If we say consciousness born materiality, Cetasika include or not? Only Chaita produce materiality, or Chaita together with the Cetasika produce materiality. There is a question. Yeah. Although we say Chaitija Rupa, consciousness born materiality, consciousness alone without Cetasika cannot produce, even cannot rise. Because of this, although we say Chaitija Rupa, we should know Cetasika also include. cannot be separate. For example, if we say, please bring butter, butter, cannot bring only butter together with the cup, together with the cup. So cannot be separate. But we may say, oh, please bring butter, like that. If something is cannot be separate, we may not say completely, but we may say only a part, but included. In the same way, Citta Cettasika is the same, always associating, cannot be separate. If we say Citta, Cettasika also include. So, Citta Rupa, as a grammar, consciousness-born materiality, we can translate. But understanding meaning is Cettasika also include. Next one, Sahetuka Patisandi Kamaja Rupa. Kamaja Rupa, Kama born materiality. Patisandi, in the Patisandi time, not the other time. So how about the other time? How about Kamaja Rupa in the other time? That Kamaja Rupa not dependent on Citta, not dependent on roots. So when we know in the cessation absorption, Citta also cease, Cettasika also cease, but Kamaja Rupa still arising. That means Kamaja Rupa not dependent on Citta. So in the commentary, give a simile. So you plant the tree. Plant the tree, need seeds. So seeds itself cannot grow up. Have to put into the earth, have to pour water. So the seed become grown up. So after growing up as a tree, although no water, can survive until a few times. In the same way, karma is like a seed. Beginning point in the Patisandi time have to dependent Citta, like a water. After giving birth in the Bodhi time, in the other time, without Citta, also can survive. Can survive. Only Patisandi time need water. Only very beginning in time need water. Later may not need water until some period. So these are effects. So here Hetu Pachena Pacho, mainly teaching here is only supports as a root condition. In this case, only Hetu. You should know Hetu is a root. But the other possibility, Adhipati, predominance. Sajada is, how to say, co-arising, maybe. Co-arising. Inya Minya is, we say each other, maybe. Next, depending, Vipaka, result, condition. Indriya, controlling. Mega, path. Sambayota, association. Vaipayota, dissociation. Ati, absence. Ati, presence. Avigata, no absence. That is supporting ways. At the same time, also possible, and accordingly. That is briefly saying, we learn like this, we recite at the same time and accordingly. Accordingly means which cause, which effect, how many pacha. Which cause, which effect, how many pacha. Detail. So to know that detail, you should see Next page. 6 hedu, 6 roots. No, next page. In this page, next, how to say? Next line. 6 hedu. That is a lobha, dosa, moha, alobha, dosa, moha. Samyutta khanda. Samyutta is association, khanda is aggregate. Association aggregate means mentality, Cheda Chetasika, not including rupa. Sayadaw Chetaja rupa, you already know. Sayadaw Paṭṭhāna rupa. So, if this cause and this effect, 5 bachya possibility. Hedu, Sajada, Nesaya, Ati, Awikada. That is a supporting way. 5 ways. 5 ways. Support as a hedu, as a root. Support as a co-arising, depending, presence, no absence. Supporting way is a 5. So, next line we should see 6 hedu. Sambayota khanda, association khanda. That means Cheda Chetasika. Hadaya Vatu. You know Hadaya Vatu. Heart base. Heart base. So, cause is a 6 hedu. Lobha dosa moha, alobha dosa moha. Effect is a Sambayota khanda, Hadaya Vatu. If so, supporting way is a hedu. Sahajada, Anya menya, Enya menya, Nesaya, Ati Awigada. Extra one is Enya menya. Why Enya menya come in this case? Enya menya means cause and effect supporting each other. Not only one side, both sides supports. For example, here Rupa is only Hadaya Vatu. So Hadaya 6 hedu supports Hadaya Vatu. In the same way, Hadaya Vatu also supports 6 roots, each other. Why? Without heart base, 6 hedu cannot arise. Cannot arise. So based on heart base, have 6 hedu have to arise. So their supporting way is Anyamanya Pachayo. The other rupas cannot support Cheda Chetasika back. Cheda Chetasika only supports Rupa. Rupa cannot support Cheda Chetasika. For example, now I am saying sound. So my mind, my consciousness, Cheda and Chetasika support this sound. But this sound cannot support my consciousness. That is not inya minya. Arising together, what I want to say, the sound come out. That means my consciousness support this sound. As a especially co-arising, Sahajada Pachayo. Also, Nesaya Pachayo. But no inya minya. For example, now heart base. I am teaching the Dhamma. If so, my consciousness is Mahakusala. You know, one of Mahakusala. Chetasika is 7 universal, 6 occasional, 19 beautiful Chetasika. Panya, wisdom. So if so, there is 3 roots: Alobha, Adosa, Amoha. 3 roots. So these 3 roots are conditions. Because of this Cheda, sound come out. So this 3 roots support this sound. But this sound not support 3 roots. So no inya minya. But, so in the same way, but Hadaya Vatu is especially Paṭṭhāna time, very beginning point. So in the Paṭṭhāna time, So consciousness have to depend on heart base. Without heart base, consciousness cannot arise. So heart base also support consciousness. Consciousness also support heart base. So they are rising in together. Sajata Pachayo also. Inyamanya Pachayo also. Like that. So next one. Yeah. Next one is the sixth head. Sambayodakanda. Sambayodakanda, you know, association, aggregate. Referring Chaita, Chetasika. No Rupa in this case. Cause is a sixth head. Effect is Chaita Chetasika only. Using Sambayodakanda. If you recite Paṭṭhāna Sambayodakanda, association Kanda, that means mentality only, no materiality. If so, what happened? You see conditions. Hedu Pachayo, Sajata Pachayo, Anya Manya Pachayo. Yes, mentality, materiality are they support each other. Not only one way, but both way. So Anya Manya Pachayo. Next, depending, surely depending each other. Sambayota Pachayo. Differences is Sambayota Pachayo. In this case. What is a Sambayota? Sambayota is among mentality only can be Sambayota. Association. Mentality and materiality cannot be Sambayota. Sambayota means arising in together, vanishing in together, the same object, the same base. That means a Sambayota association. If mentality and materiality not arising in together, although arising together, not vanishing in together, not the same object, materiality cannot take the object, mentality take the object. So it cannot be associated well. Among mentality only, arising in together, vanishing in together, taking one object. Very mixing, like a chatumadu. And the sign of Sambayota Pachayo is a chatumadu. Chatumadu is butter, wine, honey, sugar, or jaggery. The star, little bit with a small fire, have to cook, star. Cooking is a little, stirring is too much, until very mixed. You cannot separate which is wine, which is butter, which is sugar, very mixed. So, in the same way, mentality are very mixed. Which is a first contact, who is with enough feeling, to know separately, very difficult. Only the Buddha's knowledge can do. Normal people cannot do by themselves. So according to Buddha's teaching, have to follow. Although follow not so easy. Some of factors only a little bit easy. If we have anger, very obvious. So very obvious is because we learned Bidhuma. That is a type of mental factor, something like this. So they are very mixing. That means Sambayota Pachayo, association, supports as association condition. That means if supported in this way, they are very mixed. To separate, very difficult. That is a Sambayota Pachayo. Sambayota is associating way. Very associate. Very associate. Arising in together, vanishing in together, the same object, the same base. So if so, that is a Sambayota Pachayo. Ati is quite obvious. Presence. They are each other presence. Nobody, no one passed away. They are rising together. And when they arise, they support each other. Very mixing. That is the Ati Pachayo. Next line, 6 hedu, the same. Sa hedu ka chaitaja rupa. Only rupa here. Chaitaja rupa. Sa hedu, chaitaja is a mind-born, rupa materiality. Sa hedu ka, together with the hedu. Paṭṭhāna kamaja rupa. Paṭṭhāna time, riva the linking in time, mind-born, karma-born materiality. You see, cause is a 6 hedu nama. Effect is just materiality. So mentality supports materiality. In which way? Hedu, we know already. Hedu is a root. Yes, 6 hedu is a root. Sahajata, co-rising. Next year, depending. Yes, depending. Vipassanā, Vipassanā, that is a different sense. Vipassanā paccaya. Vipassanā is a dissociation condition. So, 6 hedu is a nama, rupa is, effect is a rupa. So, nama support rupa. Not sambhyota way. As a, not as a sambhyota way. As a Vipassanā way. Vipassanā way. Vipassanā paccaya. Vipassanā is a dissociation. Dissociation. They are not arising in together, not vanishing in together, not the same object. But differently they support. Yeah, people are also the same. Maybe friends are always together, they may support. Parents they may not be together with their child always, their children. But it's supporting. Supporting far from, little bit far, but supporting. So supporting in way is different. So that is a Vipassanā paccaya. Vipassanā paccaya is similarly, or Vipassanā paccaya is like 6 taste. 6 taste. 6 kind of taste. In Pali, in Myanmar, usually we say taste is 6 kinds. Sweet, sour, hot, salty. Another one is bitter. So another one is pan nào bloပြော Sometimes pangadi, you may say pan is a little bit bitter and someone mix maybe something. Yeah. So that is a 6 kind of taste. So if you put into the curry 6 kind of taste, they are, according to their saying, they support each other, because if you put like this later, the curry is very nice. Very nice. But no, if you can differentiate, you taste, for example, need salt, you put salt. Need sweet, you put sweet. You can differentiate. But they support each other, curry become nice. You cannot eat those 6 separately, but that is not nice. Must be together. Together. They support each other, but not like chitumatu. Chitumatu is very mixed. So this 6 kind of taste is still you can differentiate. They support each other, become nice curry, but still can differentiate. What still need? Maybe sweet needs, salt needs, you may know like this. So that is supporting each other by dissociating way. That is a Vipassanā paccaya. Vipassanā paccaya. For example, I am speaking now. There is 3 roots here. Because of this 3 roots, my sound come out. So this 3 roots is a cause, my sound is effect. So rising in together, what I want to say come out. So rising in together, that is Sahajata paccaya. So if I have anger, I may shout, something like this. So hedu paccaya as a root, according to mind sound. So the sound come out, maybe louder, maybe soft, because of root. Hedu is a root. Nesaya, yeah, my mind is a depending situation, depending condition. The sound dependent on mind will come out. Nesaya bachiyo. Vipayota bachiyo. My mind is a mentality, sound is a materiality. No mix. Can know easily differences. Sound is a materiality, my mind is a mentality. No mix. That is a Vipayota bachiyo. Sport, but dissociating way. No associating way. Ati, yeah, my mind, presence, mind sound, presence. So ati bachiyo. Ahikata bachiyo, no absence. Presence and no absence are the same. Only word different. So next one is 3 vipaka hetu. No 6, 3. Vipaka hetu is loba, dosa, moha. That is related to akusala. Akusala. If no have akusala, only 3. Aloba, adosa, amoha. This is a Chitasika actually. Aloba, adosa, amoha. Chitasika. Associated with the kusala sometimes. Sometimes associated with vipaka. Vipaka. So here only vipaka hetu. Vipaka hetu. That means only in vipaka chaita. 3 roots only in vipaka chaita, not in kusala chaita. For example, sleeping in time. I'm sleeping. That is a bhavanga chaita. Bhavanga mind. Bhavanga mind is a vipaka mind. Mahavipaka 8. One of that. Those. So if you sleep also, one of 8 mahavipaka. That is a chaita. Chaitasika is 7 universal, 6 occasional, 19 beautiful Chaitasika. If you are 3 rooted, yeah, maybe surely 3 rooted. Together with the wisdom, you sleep. So if so, 3 vipaka, 3 hetu only. Aloba, adosa, amoha. Only 3 root. So effect is sambhayota khanda, chaita chaitasika. Except 3 roots. Sambhayota, association, khanda is aggregate. Sayaduka chaitija rupa. Or chaitija rupa also arising in that time. Chaitija rupa. Sayaduka patisandhi kamaja rupa. Patisandhi kamaja rupa is only patisandhi time only. Patisandhi, patisandhi time only. Sleeping in time, no patisandhi. So we see hetu bachayo, sahajata bachayo, nesya bachayo, vipaka, ati avikata. What is the extra one? Vipaka bachayo. Vipaka. The others are you already know. Vipaka. Differences is a vipaka in this case. Vipaka bachayo is essay. We support essays vipaka. Sporting way of vipaka is what? What is a simile? So simile is someone run under the sun, later become tired. Because of tired, go into the shady tree, rest. So very quiet. Very quiet. In the same way, if you are sleeping, very quiet. Even you yourself don't know, I'm sleeping. Like that. Because of very quiet. That vipaka actually have an object, knowing something. Knowing something. Something is the object in the near-death moment. In the past life. Vipaka object. Still have an object. Because of very quiet. Cannot know. Cannot know I'm sleeping. How peaceful it is. That is vipaka pachayo. Someone resting under the tree. Very quiet. No running. like that. So that is a vipaka paccaya. Every vipaka arises very quiet. So we also, for example, process a few vipaka. For example, we are seeing something. Adita boinga, boinga chalana, dita boinga chalana, boingu becheda, bencha dwara wajana, 5 door vating consciousness, chaku vinyana, eye consciousness, sampadachana, sandirana, Vatavana, Javana, like this. So this Chaku Vijnana, eye consciousness, that is the vipaka mind. Samadhana also vipaka mind, Sandirana also vipaka mind. So these vipaka mind have a root. This is Ahituka may not have a root, but another one is 7 after 7 Jona to the Dharamana. That is also vipaka. Here I have a root. So, if we see something, we know I'm seeing something. Why we have chance to know? Because of Javana only. Javana very active. Because of not because of this and this. These are very quiet. Very quiet. Vipaka paccaya is very quiet. Supporting quietly. That is a vipaka paccaya. So now you are learning Abhidhamma. You know yourself. I'm learning Abhidhamma. Why? Because of Javana only we know. Javana is very active. Because of this also, Javana is a karma. Karma can be bad karma, can be good karma. Because of very active. Vipaka is just a result of kusala or akusala. Cannot produce their results because of very quiet. For example, someone sleeping. That means no kusala, no akusala. Very quiet. Because of not active, cannot produce results. So at that time, sleeping in time, so condition is vipaka paccaya. Vipaka paccaya. Vipaka paccaya. So next one. Tari vipaka hetu samyutta kanda haryavatu. That is the same, only adding vipaka. Like previous also, this cause and this effect have. But this is a vipaka, previous time 6 hetu. Now you see with tari vipaka, tari sahetuka, pancavokara, patisandi hetu. Oh, you should see that. Tari sahetuka, pancavokara, patisandi hetu. Bencha Vokara. Bencha is a 5. Vokara is aggregate. Kanda the same. Bencha is a 5. Vokara is you should read only causes. Tari vipaka hetu, tari vipaka hetu, tari sahetuka, bencha vokara, patisandi. What is a bencha vokara? Bencha is a 5. Vokara is aggregate. The same as a kanda. Patisandi, rebut linking. Hedu, roots. So that means, like we say, we call 4 awful states, 1 human state, 6 deva state. That is we call it Bencha Vokara beings, Bencha Vokara realm. Also Rupavachara Brahma, Bencha Vokara. Means they have a 5 aggregates. Rupa Khanda, materiality. Vedana Khanda, feeling aggregates, we have Sanya Khanda, perception aggregate, Sankhara Khanda, formation aggregate, Ven Janaka, consciousness aggregate. We have. So that means that those persons are Pañcavokara person, aggregate person. Arupa realm, you know, only mentality they have, no materiality aggregate. That is what we call Chatuvokara realm. Chatuvokara. Another one you may know, Ekavokara. Eka is one aggregate being. Do you know one aggregate being? Which being? Asanya Satta. Only materiality they have, no mentality. Asanya. If so, only they have a material aggregate, only one. So if we say one is a Pañcavokara being, four state human, Deva, and Rupa Brahma. Four aggregate beings is Arupa being, only mentality. Asanya Satta is only materiality. So here means Pañcavokara means four full state human, six Deva, and Rupa Brahma. No Arupa Brahma, not Asanya Satta. You see effect, Hadaya Vatu, heart base. Because in the Arupa realm, no heart base, just a mind, no materiality. Yeah. So only that this cause and effect is only Pañcavokara can have. In the Asanya Satta, no mentality. In the Arupa, no materiality. So this is a cause is a mentality, effect is a materiality. Like that. So what conditions? Hedu, Sajada, Anyamanya, Nesaya, Vibaka, Vibyoda, no Vibyoda, Ati Avigada. So we will read similarly together with the Indriya Paccaya and the Magga Paccaya is also the above 9 ways. Together with the Adhipati, Indriya and the Magga is 6 ways. So that means together with the Indriya Magga is also the above 9 ways. The above we have 9 lines, 9 ways to support. So if we put Indriya Magga, also Indriya also 9 way. Indriya Magga together. If so, we can get 9 ways. Here not mentioned. Just saying like this, 9 way not mentioned. Indriya Magga means here not have Indriya Paccaya, Magga Paccaya. For example, if we choose, cause is amoha, wisdom. Effect is the other. Wisdom is amoha is can include Magga Paccaya. Because Magga Paccaya, you know, Magga is what? Samadhi. Samadhi is Magga. If so, we include Magga Paccaya. Also, being Indriya also have a wisdom. So Indriya Paccaya also will come at that time. Adding Indriya Paccaya, Magga Paccaya, like that. So Adhipati is what is Adhipati? Chanda Adhipati, Viriya Adhipati, Chaita Adhipati, Vimamsa Adhipati. Vimamsa is wisdom. So if root is amoha, cause is amoha, wisdom, effect is something. If so, Adhipati also will come. Adhipati Paccaya. So what is Magga? Magga is a path. Supporting way is a path condition, road condition. For example, wisdom is a kind of road. If we have wisdom, that wisdom will support the other mentality, materiality, as a way, as a road. Road to go to good place. If wisdom, so to go to good place. That is a supporting way. For example, if someone have wisdom, no cause and effect. If I do good, will be good. If I do bad, will be bad. That is a wisdom. So that wisdom supports materiality. Because of wisdom, we do good there. So wisdom supports as a Janakābhivaṃsa, road condition, road to go to human life, to go to Deva life, to go to Brahma life, also Nibbana. That is a good road. Good road. So that is a Janakābhivaṃsa as a path. Although you have a good car, for example, if a road is not good, you cannot go. So road need to support you something. Also car is a very good car. If a road is not good, cannot run. So supporting way is different. Good car will support you to reach quickly for your destination. But road also still need another condition. That is a Janakābhivaṃsa. Janakābhivaṃsa is as a road will support your destination. So next one, Indriya. Indriya is mentioned, simile of Indriya is smoking. Smoking means universal kings control everything. Or smoking is like ministers. Minister, they can control in their group only. They cannot rule over the whole country. So Adhipati is like a great king. Indriya Bhajya is like ministers. So Adhipati control all very powerfully supports. Indriya is only in own range. Own range. So different supporting way. For example, eye sensitivity. That eye sensitivity supports eye consciousness. Eye consciousness process a bit control. Because if you close your eye, totally those lines cannot arise. So very easy to eye sensitivity to control that eye process. Very easy. Just you close your eye. So that Chaita cannot arise. In the same way, ear sensitivity is controlling Indriya Bhajya to support ear process, ear door process. Now, because of you open ear, you can hear the sound. Your ear door process are arising within you. If you want to control, easy, you stay quiet place. No more ear door process. So the ear sensitivity control ear door process, but it cannot control eye door process. Like that. Adhipati is different. Adhipati is like a chanda, Adhipati chanda desire. If you have a strong desire, everything possible. You will see surely. You will hear surely, because you want to hear. Like that. So that is a Adhipati Indriya difference. Okay, Q. For Chaitya Rupa, Chaitasika also included with the Chaita. Not only Chaita, but also together with the Chaitasika, produced Rupa. In the Lokiya Dhamma teaching, Chaita is predominant. Therefore, Chaita Rupa, Chaitya Rupa is said. Only Chaitya Rupa. We don't say Chaita, Chaitasika, Ja Rupa. But the meaning is Chaita, Chetasika, Cha, Rupa. Next Q. Why Paṭṭhāna Kamma, Kammaca Rupa, and not Pavoti Kammaca Rupa? Paṭṭhāna Kammaca is Paṭṭhāna means according to time, the first consciousness in one life. Later part we call Pavoti. In the Paṭṭhāna time, Kammaca Rupa always arises together with the Chaita. In the Bodhi time, Kammaca Rupa is possible to arise without Chaita. During Nirodha Samapatti, therefore no Sahajada. So Chaita and Kammaca Rupa in the Bodhi time, no Sahajada. So because of this, always we say Paṭṭhāna Kammaca only, not say Bodhi Kammaca. So Hetu finish. So Hetu only if you know brief way, quite enough. Detail is many. Some are 6, some are 7. That is later later after learning Sahajada Pachyo, Indriya Pachyo, you will contact this cause and this effect. Indriya included or not. You check. For example, Sahajada Pachyo. What is the cause? What is the effect? Hetu Pachyo and Sahajada Pachyo. You see. Hetu Pachyo is this cause, this effect. Sahajada Pachyo is this cause, this effect. If you come back, you know some cases are true together. Some cases are separately. Like that. For example, here the Dharamana, Chaita is 1, Chaita 7 universal, 6 occasional, for example 19 beautiful Chaitasika. They are surely Sahajada, each other. One take out as a cause. High sensitivity. High sensitivity, no go. For example, one is Chaita. Very good. Chaitasika is 7 universal, 6 occasional, 19 beautiful universal. They are rising in together. So surely one cause take out. This is a cause, the other effect. If so, surely the Sahajada is surely co-rising. But Hetu is not sure. For example, Phassa is a contact. Phassa is a cause, the other is an effect. If so, this is a cause, this is an effect, spot as a Sahajada. But that is not root. Root is only 6, Loba, dosa, moha, aloba, dosa, moha. This is no loba, no dosa, no moha, no hetu pachiyo. Sahajada pachiyo have. If a feeling come out, feeling support this group, Sahajada pachiyo only, no hetu pachiyo. So you can check what is hetu cause and effect, what is Sahajada cause and effect. If you come back, you will know some cases are together, some cases are not together. For example, here, take out here aloba. For example, aloba. If so, aloba is can arise together Sahajada Pachiyo also. Also, aloba is one kind of root. Aloba is one kind of root. If so, hetu Pachiyo also. First support this only Sahajada Pachiyo. Aloba support this hetu Pachiyo also, Sahajada Pachiyo also. Because now you know your land what is Sahajada Pachiyo. Only hetu Pachiyo only. Yeah. So I think brief way you should know what is the causes, what is the effect. Now hetu pachayo is causes is only loba, dosa, moha, aloba, dosa, moha. Only 6. If accept this 6, the other then, for example, first is a cause, feelings, vedana is a cause. If so, no hetu pachayo. Because the cause of hetu pachayo is only 6 roots. Okay. Next one, aramana pachayo. Very interesting. Aramana, what kind of object support what kind of consciousness? Yeah. Your object, what kind of object? Yeah. So repeat after me. Aramana Bachayodi. Aramana Bachayodi. Rubaya Danam. Chaku Viññāna Daduya. Dan Sambhyo Dekanancha Dhammanam. Aramana Bachayena Bachayo. Again, Rubaya Danam. That is the cause. Chaku Viññāna Daduya. Dan Sambhyo Dekanancha Dhammanam. Aramana Bachayena Bachayo. Rupayadana is a cause. Chaku Viññāna Daduya. Dan Sambhyo Dekanancha Dhammana effect. Aramana Bachayena Bachayo. That is a sporting way. Sporting away. So, Rupayadana, translation, visible object. That is the cause. For the unconsciousness element, unconsciousness element and unconsciousness the same. The same. And is associated Dhamma. That means a Cetasika. Is associated Dhamma is a Cetasika. So you can see 2 unconsciousness, 7 universal Cetasika. Aramana Bachayena Bachayo is condition or supports as object condition. For example, because of visible object, bhavinga, sleeping, we see something, adita bhavinga, adita bhavinga. So the object, the eye, impinge, something, impinge. Bhavingu bicheda, bhavinga chalana. Bhavinga chalana, maybe. Bhavinga chalana, another one. Bhavingu becheda, we say. Bhavingu becheda, Chaku Viññāna, Samadechana, Sandirana, Otavana, Jawana 7 times. Maybe the Dharamana 2 times. And again, Bhavinga. So, Rupayadanam is here. The object arises here, impinge our eye. But we are sleeping, not yet wake up. Bhavinga mind. So because of impinging eye, here the bhavinga shaking, not stable. Here stop. Last bhavinga. After that, fight of Panchadara Vajana. Chaku Viññāna. So, Chaku Viññāna, so Rupayadanam is here. Earlier time they arise. Chaku Viññāna is arise here. Unconsciousness. Unconsciousness can be one of two unconsciousness. If you see something, object is good, kusala vipaka, result of kusala. You see something is no good, If so, akusala vipaka. So that is a true unconsciousness. Cetasika is only 7 universal, or all are only 8. 8 in this condition. And that is a seeing something only. Not yet know what color, who is he, which is that, not yet know. Just seeing only. So this object supports these 8. Cheta 1, Cetasika 7. That is a Rupayatanam, Chakku Vijnana, Dhatuya. Tam Samyodikanan Chadamana, Aramana Pachena Bachyo. Support as a Aramana. So, what is Aramana? Similarly, Aramana is someone, older people cannot walk himself. So, have to hold walking stick to support the older people. In the same way, this Chaita and Cetasika cannot arise itself. By holding Aramana, by holding this object only, they can arise. So this object supports this consciousness to arise. Another simile is older people cannot walk by holding the rope. Have to walk. So the bar rope, by holding that, I have to walk. So that is the Aramana Pachiyo. So Rupayatana, Chakku Vijnana Dhatuya, consciousness, that means Tansamyodakanan Dhamana, associating Dhamma, support as a Aramana. Right? So this object supports unconsciousness. Now you see this object supports your unconsciousness. So which way? Aramana Pachayo. Without this object, your unconsciousness cannot arise like that. So that is Aramana Pachayo. So in the same way, Sodayaranam. So Aramana Pachayo, condition you see, not only Aramana Pachayo, next one, Pure Jada Pachayo. Pure is before, Jada is arising. How to say? How to say? Pre-arising, yeah. Pre-arising condition. Yes, this you see, object is arising here. Consciousness is later. That is Pure Jada Pasyo, pre-arising Pasyo. Not arising together, object already arise earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 consciousness earlier time. This arise. But still alive. This object still alive. Why? This is a materiality. This is a mentality. One materiality can last 70 mind moments. Because of this, this is a pre-arising condition. Yeah, support this consciousness as a Aramana Pachayo, also as a Pure Jada Pachayo. Pure Jada means not like a Sahajada, not arising together. Pre-arising, not the same time. Yeah. Next one is Ati Pachayo. What means Ati? Ati is presence. Yes, pre-arising, but still alive. Still alive. Like Pure Jada Pachayo. Simile of Pure Jada Pachayo is what? Simile of Pure Jada Pachayo is what? Do you remember? Like the sun and moon. The sun and moon is arising from the beginning point of eon, but is still supporting us. We are lately arise. the sun and moon a long time ago rise, but they are still having support us. You know, if you morning sun, should get a morning sun, people say, to produce a vitamin D from the skin. Like that, the sun and moon support us. Pre-arising, we are lately arise. They are pre-arising. But also Atibhajiyo, they are not yet passed away, still have sun, still have moon. So as a presence, Atibhajiyo. Avigata-bhajiyo, no absence. No absence. No absence is this one not yet passed away. Because this is a materiality, this is a mentality. Mentality is a short life. Materiality is a long life. Materiality can last 17 mind moments. So this aramana object, visible object, until here can support until 70 mind moments. I say Atibhajiyo. Atibhajiyo. For example, this Buddha image you see now, so that is a spot you are in consciousness as a Atibhajiyo. But later you went back, you may think back again about the materiality. That is maybe no Atibhajiyo. That is a Natibhajiyo. Object is already like a passed away, cease. But here is not yet passed away, still alive. So that means Atibhajiyo, Avigata-bhajiyo. So this object support this Chaita as a Aramana-bhajiyo, Purejata-bhajiyo, Atibhajiyo, Avigata-bhajiyo. At the same time, always together. So next one, repeat after me. Soda yadanam, soda viññāna dhātuya, dan samyodhakanam ca dhammanam, aramana bhajayena bhajayo, soda yadanam, soda viññāna dhātuya, dan samyodhakanam ca dhammanam, aramana bhajayena bhajayo. In the same way, here you should change sound and ear. This is a sound, this is ear. Sound impinge your ear. So at that time, here instead of Chakku Viññāna, how to say? Soda Viññāna. Soda. Only here change, the others are the same. Soda Viññāna. This is a sound. This sound is a cause. This is a effect. That is also the same Aramana-bhajiyo. Aramana-bhajiyo. So next one, Gandhayadanam, Gana Viññāna dhātuya, dan samyodhakanam ca dhammanam, aramana bhajayena bhajayo. Gandhayadana is a smell. Smell, that is a materiality. Gana Viññāna dhātuya is a nose consciousness and cetasika. So the same. Smell supports your nose consciousness as a Aramana-bhajiyo. Aramana-bhajiyo. So like a coffee shop, you know, if you walk in front of coffee shop, so smell come out, smell impinge your nose. You may breathe deeply. So that is a Kanda Yadanam, Kana Viññāna Dhātuya. Next one. Rasa Yadanam, Jingva Viññāna Dhātuya. Dan Sambhyodhakanam Cha Dhammanam. Aramana Bhajayena Bhajayo. Rasa Yadanam. Rasa is a taste, flavor. Taste, flavor. Flavor object, taste object. Jingva Viññāna Dhātuya. Jingva is a tongue consciousness element and associated Dhamma. Tongue consciousness. When you eat, that object support your tongue consciousness. Tongue consciousness. Aramana Bhajayena Bhajayo. So, taste is fast. Tongue consciousness is a bit late. That is a very Sahaburi Jada Bhajayo also. Ati Bhajayo also. As a presence. Ati Bhajayo. Avikata Bhajayo also. For example, you have eaten before. Now you think about the taste. Good. That is not tongue consciousness. That is like mind consciousness, not tongue. With the mind, you miss the previous taste. So that previous taste was for your mind only, not for the tongue consciousness. Eating in time as a presence only, the taste is for your tongue consciousness. But some people, I have eaten good one, something, mix that. So if so, that is that taste spot your mind only. Mind. And so that is the difference. So next one. Paṭṭhāna Yadanam Kaya Viññāna Dhātuya Dan Sambhyodhakanam Cha Dhammanam Aramana Bhajayena Bhajayo. Paṭṭhāna Yadanam Kaya Viññāna Dhātuya Dan Sambhyodhakanam Cha Dhammanam Aramana Bhajayena Bhajayo. Paṭṭhāna Yadana means other elements, wind element, fire element. Something we touch is hardness or softness, that is earth element. Something we touch is cold and heat, that is a fire element. Something we touch is air, pushing. For example, fan, the air impinge your body, you know. So, if we touch something, that object is maybe earth element, maybe fire element, maybe wind element. So, which is stronger? For example, if I touch this is very hot, if so, I happen to impinge the fire element. So, now the fan running, wind impinge your body. That is so you are touching wind. Yeah. So Paṭṭhāna, that is we call Paṭṭhāna Yadana, tangible object. Tangible, we say maybe tactile or touch. That object. Kaya Viññāna Dhātuya, body consciousness. Dan Sambhyodhakanam Cha Dhammana, associating in Dhamma and Cetasika. Associating in Dhamma is Cetasika. Aramana Bhajayena Bhajayo. The same, only object change, consciousness change, similar to visible object. So, next line, repeat after me. Rupayaranam Saddhayaranam Gandhayaranam, Rasayaranam, Pottabhayaranam. Oh, these are 5 objects together. Again. Rupayaranam, Sadayaranam, Gandhayaranam, Rasayaranam, Pottabhayaranam. Those are causes. Effect we will recite. Manodhatuya, Dan Sambhyodakanan Cha Dhammanam. Again. Manodhatuya, Dan Sambhyodakanan Cha Dhammanam. Aramana Bhajena Bhajayo. Yes, that is 5 objects we already know. Rupayarana, that is a visible object. Sadayarana, sound object. Gandhayarana, smell object. Rasayarana, taste object. Pottabhayarana, tangible object. These 5 objects supports Manodhatuya. What is a Manodhatu? Mind element we translate. Mind element means, you see, that is a 5-door regarding consciousness 1. This is 1, Sampradayana. So, already, and then click on. So, this is Panchadwara Vajana. You may not see green in color. Yeah. Now, how about red? Huh? Red cannot see. Oh, okay. Green. So, Panchadwara Vajana is 1. Sampradayana is 2. Here 2, here 1. These 3 we call Manodhatu, another name. So this is Panchadwara Vajana 1, Sampradayana 2 or 3. That is we call Manodhatu, mind element. Yeah, mind element. Another name, mind element. So yes, in this case, visible object support mind element. Panchadwara Vajana, Sampradayana. In the same way, sound object support Panchadwara Vajana, Sampradayana. Panchadwara Vajana is 5-door dividing consciousness. For example, you are 5-door dividing consciousness, sometimes divide towards the visible object. Sometimes divide sound towards the sound. Sometimes divide towards the smell. Smell is good or not, you smell. For example, sometimes divide to the taste. Sometimes we eat, our mind go away. So have to like that. If many dishes, eating this, but longing for the other. So at the present, don't know the taste. So because of this, if many dishes, we cannot feel present taste. We are, after eating this, next step, what we should eat. So lose the present one. Only one curry, okay. You can taste fully. So we advance, sometimes visible, sometimes sound, sometimes smell, sometimes taste, sometimes tangible object. So like a meditator, sometimes they check always body, pain here and they know. If you don't check body, only meditation object, your mind turn towards the anapana. If so, about the body you will forget, may not know. But some people are very stingy about their body. My body may pain somewhere, always checking. So pain appear because of the mind turn towards a tangible object, like that. So this 5-door dividing consciousness sometimes turn towards eye, towards visible object, sometimes turn towards sound object, like that. So because of this, the color support this consciousness, sound also support, smell also support, taste also support, tangible object also support. Because may change here only, instead of eye consciousness, ear, nose, tongue, body consciousness. The others are the same. Five departing is the same. Samatha is accepting, receiving consciousness are the same in five door. So these five objects support these manodhatu, Panchadara Vajana and Sampatechana, as a aramana pachaya. Without this object, they cannot arise. They cannot arise. By holding a walking stick object, they have to arise. So that is a manodhatu. So three mind elements, seven universal, Cetasika, Vitaka, Vichara, Adhimokha. Only that. Vitaka. Three mind element is Panchadara Vajana 1, Samatha 2, Cetasika also. Cetasika is how many? Seven universal, Vitaka, Vichara, Adhimokha. Or 10 Cetasika. 10 Cetasika. Next one. Sabbe Dhamma. Repeat after me. Sabbe Dhamma. Mano Vijnana Dhatuya. Tan Sambhyodakanan Cha Dhammanam. Aramana Bhajena Bhajayo. Sabbe Dhamma. Mano Vijnana Dhatuya. Dan Sambhyodakanan Cha Dhammanam. Aramana Bhajena Bhajayo. So, Sabbe Dhamma, Sabbe is all. Dhamma is Dhamma phenomena. All phenomena can be object. All phenomena. All phenomena means Chaita, Cetasika, Rupa, Nirvana, Panyati. That means all phenomena. These can be object. The whole world finished, all phenomena. If we say as a Vidama, Chaita, Cetasika, Rupa, Nirvana, and conventional truth or concept, Panyati, that is all Dhamma. 89 Chaita, 52 Cetasika, 28 Rupa, Nirvana, Panyati. May say that is a sixth object. Ruparamana, visible object. Sadaramana, sound object. Gandharamana, smell object. Rasaramana, taste object. The other Chaita Cetasika all are Dhammaramana. Dhammaramana means except visible object, sound, smell, taste, and tangible object. The other object all are Dhammaramana. Yeah. So we may say six objects, we may say all Dhamma, the same. So Mano Vijnana Dhatuya, for mind consciousness element. Dan Sambhyodakanan Cha Dhammana is associated Dhamma, that means Cetasika. So what is a Mano Vijnana Dhatu? Except that is a we call Chakku Vijnana, Sota Vijnana, Kana Vijnana, Jema Vijnana, Kaya Vijnana. That is a we call, this two we call Mano Dhatu. Except these other Chaita Cetasika are Mano Vijnana. Mano Vijnana. That means a Bhovinka also, Sandhina, Votapana, Jovana, Dadaramana, all the others are Mano Vijnana. Yeah, Mano Vijnana. All the other Chaita, all are 76. Except Chakku Vijnana 2, Sota Vijnana 2, Kana Vijnana 2, Jima Vijnana 2, Ga Vijnana 2, and Mano Dhatu 3. So only left 76 Chaita, 52 Chetasika. That is what we call a Mano Vijnana Dhatu, mind consciousness element. Aramana Bachayana Bachayo. Aramana support as a Aramana. That means like our Javana, we think anything. For example, sometimes discerning materiality. If so, materiality is the object of our mind. Sometimes we discern mentality. Cheta Chetasika. Some people say, oh, my anger is very strong. Do you know about me? Something like this. So that is the mentality is the object of our mind. Sometimes, for example, Nibbana. Nibbana is when we practice Vipassanā before Magga. Magga time also Magga Cheta can see Nibbana. If so, Nibbana is the object of our mind. Before Magga also one kind of Chaita, we call it Gudrabhu. That is a Kamavajra Chaita. Kamavajra Kusala Chaita. That mind also can see Nibbana. At that time, ordinary basa, but near or after next Chaita is a Magga. So before that, can see Nibbana as a ordinary basa. So at that time, Nibbana is become object. So Panyati. Panyati is everything. For example, I'm back. That is also Panyati. Flower, Panyati object. If we discern, that is other element, water, fire, like that. If so, that is discerning, seeing materiality. As a flower, as a the whole, that is a Panyati. Even people I see, who are who, man or woman, if I see, that is the object is we call a Panyati. You know, compassion Panyati you have learned in this section. What kind of how many Panyati? Even we say sometimes sky. Sky is nothing, just a name. Sky is actually nothing. Sky is just a space. But we give a name, that is the sky. So that is also a concept, no reality. In the same way, some people say soul. Soul is just a thinking, just a view, no reality. But people thinking. So that is also Panyati. 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 So these are objects, Aramana Bhajayo. So can also Adhipati Bhajayo. The same time. Sometimes Aramana is very strong, Adhipati. Very strongly support our mind. Our mind attach that object, cannot be separate. So that is at that time Adhipati supporting way is Adhipati Bhajayo. Like a king. Adhipati is like a universal king or like a king. Take the whole mind, so very strongly support our mind. Always, once I wake up, that object come like that. So Adhipati Bhajayo. Nesaya Bhajayo, yeah, that is a depending. Object is a depending. Upanesaya Bhajayo, very depending. Nesaya Bhajayo, similarly or Nesaya Bhajayo is like, like this board. I can draw anything. Without board, cannot draw. So the board, the white board, support my drawing as a Nesaya Bhajayo, depending Bhajayo. Upanesaya, very depending. How to say? How to? Huh? Strong? Strong depending. Yeah, Upanasya. Upanasya Bhajyo is strong depending is like a rain. Like a rain support trees. So, similarly, like this, very depending. Next one, Burejada. Object is always fast. Because once we think object, first of all, Bhovinga, data Bhovinga. Later only impinge in mind. So, Burejada, rising. So, Vipassanā. Sometimes, Vipassanā is dissociating way. The object and consciousness not rising together, not vanishing together, not the same object. So, dissociating way. Ati Bhajyo, object is always a presence. Avigata Bhajyo, no absence. So, these many Bhajyas can be at the same time. Also, can be accordingly. Sometimes based on cause and effect, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, like that. That is accordingly. Later, for that accordingly, we will say detail. So how do we detail? You can see 54 Kamavachara Chaita, 52 Chetasika, 28 Rupa. This is the object. 11 Dadaramana, 1 Hasidobhada Chaita. This is a result. So this Dadaramana Hasidobhada Chaita only can take the object 4 Kamavachara Chaita, 52 Chetasika, 28 Rupa only. Dadaramana cannot see Nibbana. Dadaramana cannot see Rupa Vachara Chaita. Like that. Dadaramana cannot see Anapana Nimitta. Also, Hasidobhada is a smile producing Chaita. Smile producing Chaita is only can take an object Kamavachara Chaita, Chetasika, Rupa only. Yeah. By seeing that, you may smile. But by seeing Nibbana, you may not smile. Smile producing Chaita is cannot take Nibbana as an object. So, this Dadaramana Hasidobhada only can take this Chaita Chetasika Rupa only. So, another one. 6 objects which are 81 Lokiya Chaita. Lokiya Chaita is not including Megaphala. 81. 52 Chetasika, 28 Rupa and Banyati. So, object is only Lokiya, not including Mega Chaita, Phala Chaita and Nibbana. So, Chaita, which Chaita can take that object? 12 Akusala Chaita. 4 Mahakusala Jnana Vipayutta Chaita. Mahakusala Jnana Vipayutta is no knowledge, no knowledge. Now, another one is a 4 Mahakiriya Jnana Vipayutta Chaita, maybe. Jnana Vipayutta. Yeah. You see, this Chaita is Akusala and Jnana Vipayutta. No knowledge. Because of this, cannot take Mega Phala Nibbana as an object. Only can pay attention 81 Lokiya Chaita, Chetasika, Rupa, Banyati only. Because Akusala Chaita is very evil, Jnana Vipayutta is no wisdom. That wisdom, Chaita without wisdom cannot take Nibbana as an object. Yeah, cannot take as an object. So, Akusala Chaita only can take this object. In the same way, 4 Mahakusala Jnana Vipayutta Chaita only can take this object. 4 Mahakiriya Chaita only can take this object. Means cannot take Mega Phala Nibbana. So, which one can take Mega Phala Nibbana? Nice. We see next one. Next one, we should see result first. Result is 4 Mahakusala Janakābhivaṃsa, you see Janakābhivaṃsa. Janakābhivaṃsa is associated with the wisdom. If so, the object you can see, 6 objects which are 87 Jada. 87. Jada is originally 89. 2 left. Which one? Excluding Arhata Mega and Arhata Flachita. Excluding, 2. The other are okay. Nibbana can see, Rupa can see, Vajnati can see. Why this Jada cannot see Arhata Mega Fla? This is a Jnana Sambhayota, Kusala Jnana Sambhayota. Kusala is only arising for the ordinary person, Sotapanna, Sakaragami, Nagami only. So a Nagami person cannot see Arahanta's mind, higher stage. A Nagami person can see Sotapanna mind, Sakaragami mind, Nagami mind, Buddhojana mind. Cannot see Arahanta's mind. Because of this, Kusala is only arising within ordinary person, Sotapanna, Sakaragami, Nagami. So they cannot take the object Arhata Mega Phala. So next one. For Mahakiriya Jnana Sambhayota. You know Kiriya. Kiriya is Arahanta's mind, you know. Kiriya. Next one. Manodvara Vajana, mind door departing consciousness. So, object we will see. 6 objects which are 89 Jada, all. 89 Jada. 52 Chetasika, 28 Rupa, Nibbana, Panyati, all. All objects he can take. Why? He is a Kiriya. Kiriya is a Arahanta's mind, like a Buddha's mind. This is Jada. Manodvara Vajana, normally we also have our Manodvara Vajana. Our Manodvara Vajana cannot see all objects. But when the Buddha wants to see something, before Javana, mind door departing consciousness. So after mind door, you know, Sabhinyuta Jnana, omniscient knowledge. So before omniscient knowledge, there is a mind door departing consciousness. That mind door departing consciousness can see everything, whatever he wants to see. Not our Manodvara Vajana. No, in front of the Buddha's omniscient knowledge, there is the Buddha's omniscient knowledge is Javana, you know, Mahakiriya Javana. Before that, there is mind door departing consciousness. That mind door departing consciousness depart here and there. Want to see about someone can see, like that. About the Deva realm can see. So that Kiriya Jada can see all 89 Jada, 28 Rupa, Nibbana, also Panyati, everything he can know because of Arahanta's mind. So now we finish about the Kamavachara Jada. Next one, Abhinya mind. So what kind of object can take? That is next week we will learn. Like a Korean movie. When it's interesting, you should stop. Okay. There is any question you can ask a few times. Okay.
I would like to know, under this Paṭṭhāna there is a earth, wind, and fire that are tangibles. Okay, we can feel. This is under touch.
Yeah.
We can only feel 3. What about Apo, water?
So according to scriptures mentioned, so water water is not tangible object. That is very difficult to understand. Anyway, we should think. Water is, we think touching water is, I can know this is water, like that. Actually, only we can touch other elements, because in the water there is other elements. There is a heat and cold, and there is something wind pushing. So only we can touch that. Water itself cannot touch. So that is knowing by mind. We know this is water is with mind, based on touching. For example, we touch something, this we touch, this is a tissue. Actually, only I can touch hardness and roughness, like that. So this form, later, the mind have to work. Like form is like this, that is should be tissue, like that. Actually, that I am saying that is a tissue box is with by mind, not by touching. By touching only we can know earth element, wind element, fire element.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when we are doing 32 parts of the body, the teacher will say water is under the water element group. It is like tears, urine, pus. So for water, it is we feel the flowing, like tears flowing from our eyes and touch our cheeks, and cohesion. It's the characteristics of water. It's coming together, hardening, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes here, pain, tight. So I feel that why cannot feel?
Why cannot feel?
When the 32 parts of the element are grouped under earth element and water element, right? 32 parts of the body.
Yeah.
So under the water element, the teacher will teach flowing, like tears flow. We can feel the flowing.
Yes. Actually, for the earth elements, we can know as a tangible object. Water element is have to know with the mind. For example, something wet. You put water on the tissue, so the water spread. Such thing only. So use even water. We see water. We may think, for example, we see water. Not only just tangible. We see something. We know that is water. We may say water is by seeing we can know. Actually, we can see just a color and form. But we decide that is water is with the other mind. Next process. So even on the television, we can know, that is a sea, that is a river. Actually, we see just a color and form. But we know that is the water. Even also, by hearing a sound, also, the water dropping, the water dropping, we can know, that is the water. If so, like water is a sound object, no, water is a sound object. We hear just a sound. Because we have marked this sound is the sound of water. So next process working, what is this sound? What produces this sound? Later we know, that is water. So by hearing the sound also we can know that is water. By seeing something also we can know that is water. But water is not visible object, no sound object. Later process we know. So in the same way, you may see tear with your eye. So that tears may touch your body, but those objects are no water elements. Water we can touch. Water element we cannot touch. Water element is just have to know with the mind. With the mind, we may see something water put spread that issue. Or we may say water, but water is something a little bit difficult. But we should know because not just tangible. Seeing also we know water. If so, water is a color, no color, like that. But something behind, we have marked this color is a color of water. This sound is the sound of water, like that. This smell is the smell of water. So we have marked. Based on those marked, we know that is water. But sometimes maybe record the sound of water. Open recording. At that time we mistake. Actually we know only the sound. So based on sound we follow. Based on previous mark we follow. So we know. So in the same way, the tear we can feel, because always a tear come out, we have marked. So based on that marked, previous time if it flow like this, that is a tear. So we go like that. That is a tear. So actually, the element of water element is so scriptures are saying not tangible object. Because of that, this water element is difficult to take. Mostly teach the last, essay last. Have to feel with the mind, have to feel with the knowledge. So heat is very obvious. You touch heat. So water element is not so easy. May not be water element. Water is a concept, a bit easy. Water element is flowing, is just wetting. That is a kind of element. Just wetting. Cohesion is, for example, this cup form like this is because of cohesion. If totally no cohesion, spread away. May not have this form. Our body also like this form because of water. If it totally dry up, this flesh go away. So by seeing that situation, we have to know by using our knowledge. That is a cohesion, like that. So a little bit wet, not so dry. Oh, that is inside, there is water. That is not by seeing, by using knowledge. We know even other elements, that is we may say according to 32 parts, other elements mostly, but still have water. Why we can know? A little bit wet,
Yes.
not so dry. So inside there is water.
Okay.
That is we use our knowledge. Another one, this form, why not spread? Why not go away? Because of water, do cohesion. So as this form, we can see. So that water cohesion of water element like this. By using knowledge only, we have chance to know.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Understand.
a little bit difficult to explain, but you also may understand a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
For me, a bit difficult to say. But you should know the element of order is known by knowledge only.
Okay. Thank you. Understand.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask Bhante, when, for example, a sekha is in pala,
Huh?
during the pala chitta moments, right?
Yeah.
Is he in jhana? Because to experience, to be enlightened, right? To experience magga pala, is that their corresponding jhana levels, right? It can be like first jhana.
Yeah, jhana chaita is Rupavasra chaita, Rupavasra chaita, Lokottara chaita. we use jhana. Sometimes in some places jhana is all this chaita, Rupavasara chaita, Arupavasara chaita, Lokottara chaita.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for example, when someone is an anagami, say for example,
Yeah.
and when he's re-experiencing when he enters into his pala moments, right? Is he in jhana or
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Pala is can say jhana, but that jhana is jhana. The meaning, literal meaning of jhana is seeing closely, seeing the object closely. But seeing the object closely for the anagami, object is only nibbana.
Yeah.
Seeing nibbana closely, very touching, without moving. So because of this, we can say jhana. But the object is nibbana.
Oh, okay. So actually, if we want to include here, we can also have like rupa, vachara, chitta can take nibbana as object also.
No. Rupavasara chaita cannot take nibbana. Cannot take nibbana. Only meditation object, some meditation object like Rupavasara chaita, first jhana, let's say, first jhana. First jhana can take a Tingasina object, Asubha object.
Yes.
Buddha Nusati cannot take, for example. Anapana can take 32 parts, it can take. Mitta, living being, can take. 4 elements cannot take, only that. These objects can support first jhana.
But rupa, vachara, chitta cannot take nibbana as object.
Yes, cannot take nibbana, cannot take a flower like that, Kamavasara object. Only meditation object, Rupavasara chaita can take.
Oh, then why do we have like first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, Lokottara chitta?
Lokottara chaita.
Yeah.
That means the object of Lokottara chaita is only nibbana.
Yes.
Why we say first jhana? So because jhana factors the same. If jhana factor is the same as first jhana of Rupavasara, that is we call first jhana magga. If jhana factor is the same as second jhana of Rupavasara, we call that magga, second jhana magga. So that is we call metaphorical saying.
I see.
Yeah.
So for human beings, if you are an anagami, when you are in your pala moments, that is still considered kama mahakusala jnana sampayutta chitta.
Phala moment is no. Phala moment is phala
When you
chaita.
go into pala again, later.
Before into phala, yes, maybe medicine Vipassanā.
Yes.
That is mahakusala jnana sampayutta. Yeah.
Okay. So for rupa, vachara, chitta, that can see nibbana as object only for rupa, vachara beings.
Rupavasara being may see, because a Rupavasara being may have a Kamavasara chaita. Brahma, for example, Brahma come to see Buddha. His mind is Kamavachara Kusala chaita. Yeah. If he practices Vipassanā, get Nibbana, Rupavasara being, but he can see Nibbana.
Okay. So, Bhante, another thing, just to clarify, so Bhante, for Mano Dwara Vajana Chitta,
Yes.
that can see Nibbana as object, is only for the Buddha. When Bhante said just before the omniscient knowledge.
Before the omniscient knowledge, you can
Sapanita.
see every object, not only Nibbana.
Yes.
But sometimes, for example, Sotapanna, get Sotapadimaka. After getting in Sotapadimaka, that is, we have a Vichāvakana Viti. Vichāvakana Viti is reflect
Yes.
which mega what I have seen. So at that time, before Vichāvakana Jhana, there is a Manodara Vajana.
Yes.
That Manodara Vajana may see their own mega, phala, and nibbana. But cannot see everything. all. At that time may see Manodara Vajana may see Mega, Phala, Nibbana, and Kilesa removed the Kilesa, not yet removed the Kilesa.
I see. So this, for the notes, the Manodwara Vajana is not restricted to the Buddha. Arahanta also can.
Because this is all, we say all.
Yes.
Yeah, but individually a little bit.
Or may or may not.
Yes.
I see.
But the Buddha's Manodara Vajana before omniscient knowledge is
Definitely
all.
can.
Definitely all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Sadhu. So sharing merits. Repeat after me. Idame nyadina hodu. Sukhida hontu nyadayo. Idame punyam. Asawakayam. Wahang hotu. Idame punyam. Nibbanasa. Pachayo. Hotu. Mama punya bhagam. Sava sadanam. Pajemi. Desabe. Me samam. Punya bhagam. Labandu. Sadhu.